Night falls over the Appalachian Mountains. Shadows stretch across the valleys below. One valley holds a haunting secret. Lost Hollow. Nestled deep in eastern Kentucky, time stands still here. Crumbling stone walls whisper tales of a forgotten past. The air is thick with pine and damp earth, heavy with unspoken stories. Tales of sorrow and restless spirits roam the hills. The veil between the living and the dead wears thin. Lost Hollow sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to speak its name. Are you brave enough to enter? Lost Hollow was once a vibrant community. Families built their lives here, toiling in coal mines and farming the land. In the early 1900s, a sickness swept through the valley. It struck swiftly, leaving death and despair in its wake. Doctors were baffled, unable to identify the cause. Fear and suspicion poisoned the community. The survivors, haunted by grief, abandoned their homes. The exodus from Lost Hollow was swift. Families fled, leaving behind their homes and history. Whispers of the tragedy spread, becoming local legend. Rumors of strange lights and disembodied voices drew curious souls. They came seeking adventure, unaware of the true darkness. Lost Hollow held secrets, eager to share their stories. Lost Hollow in the late 1800s was a place of simple beauty. Families worked the land from dawn till dusk. Children roamed the hills, their laughter echoing through the valley. Evenings were spent around fireplaces, sharing stories and songs. A bond forged in shared hardship transcended their isolation. The first whispers of trouble reached Lost Hollow. A few scattered coughs blossomed into an epidemic. The sickness spread swiftly, leaving fever and death in its wake. Dr. Thomas worked tirelessly, but remedies failed. Despair settled over Lost Hollow, replacing the rhythms of life. The cemetery became a testament to the sickness's devastation. Fresh graves multiplied, the air heavy with loss. Fear and suspicion fractured the community. The church, once a sanctuary, became a battleground of emotions. Hopelessness descended upon Lost Hollow, breaking its spirit. The exodus began slowly, then became a flood. The once bustling streets stood eerily deserted. The schoolhouse and general store echoed with ghosts of the past. Lost Hollow became a ghost town, haunted by memories. The story of Lost Hollow and its spirits was far from over. Stories began to circulate of a woman in white, the Weeping Woman. Her name was Martha, a mother who lost her children to the sickness. She nursed them tirelessly, but they slipped away. Martha's sanity shattered by grief, she clung to their lifeless bodies. Her cries echoed through the empty house. Martha's legend became intertwined with Lost Hollow's tragedy. Martha wandered the deserted streets, searching for her boys. She called out, her voice hoarse from crying. Some say she searched the woods, following phantom echoes. Others saw her by the river, reaching out to the water. Martha's search became a testament to a mother's love and despair. The legend of the Weeping Woman took root in Lost Hollow's tragedy. Her story became a cautionary tale of grief and love. Some dismissed the tales, but others knew better. They had seen the flicker of a white dress and heard a woman sob. In the stillness of the night, her cries echoed through Lost Hollow. Sarah, drawn by curiosity, camped alone in Lost Hollow.
I set up camp near the ruins of the old church.
As darkness descended, a chill settled over the valley.
I felt an overwhelming sense of dread.
Suddenly, a low, mournful cry pierced the stillness.
It spoke of loss and despair echoing through time.
John, an experienced hiker, scoffed at the tales of Lost Hollow. One autumn afternoon, he hiked a trail skirting Lost Hollow. As the sun set, he quickened his pace. The trail became treacherous in the fading light. He rounded a bend and stopped short, his blood turning to ice. A figure shrouded in white stood in the middle of the trail. Emily, a paranormal investigator, spent countless hours poring over old journals and newspaper clippings. She was determined to uncover the truth behind the legend of the Weeping Woman.
Armed with recording equipment, I set up camp in the abandoned town. The old schoolhouse, with its whispers of forgotten laughter, became my base.
Nightfall cloaked the schoolhouse in darkness. Emily sat alone, her headphones blocking out all sound except static. Hours ticked by, punctuated by the occasional creak.
Just when my eyelids began to droop, I heard it. A faint whisper, barely audible above the static. It was a woman's voice, filled with deep sorrow. I leaned closer to the recorder, my heart pounding. I adjusted the dials, straining to make out the words. Then the whispering ceased, leaving behind a heavy silence.
Decades passed. Lost Hollow remained frozen in time. The houses stood empty, surrendered to the relentless embrace of nature. One hot summer day, a group of teenagers decided to explore the ruins of Lost Hollow. In the attic of a house, one of the teenagers stumbled upon a wooden chest. Nestled among yellowed linens, they discovered a leather-bound journal. Its cover was worn smooth with age. The once bright ink faded to a dull brown. Lost Hollow had listened to his pleas. The woman agreed to help Elijah, but her price was a steep one. She demanded a sacrifice, a life for a life. Desperate to save his family, Elijah had reluctantly agreed. He returned to Lost Hollow, his heart heavy with dread, and carried out the ritual as instructed. The next morning, the sickness that had ravaged Lost Hollow vanished as quickly as it had arrived. Elijah's family was spared, their health restored. But the town remained eerily silent. The houses stood empty, their occupants gone. The streets, once bustling with life, were deserted. Elijah was the only one left. He wandered the empty streets, his heart torn between relief and a gnawing guilt that he could not shake. He had saved his family, but at what cost? Had he condemned the entire town to appease a dark force? Haunted by his actions, Elijah spent the rest of his days in Lost Hollow, a prisoner of his own making. He filled the pages of his journal with his regrets, his fears, and the chilling realization that the price of survival was far greater than he had ever imagined. Lost Hollow stands as a stark reminder of the impermanence of human endeavors. The forest has slowly reclaimed what was once its own. Trees, their roots like grasping claws, have torn through foundations, their branches reaching towards the heavens as if in supplication. The silence of the valley is broken only by the chirping of crickets and the rustle of leaves underfoot, yet Lost Hollow is not truly empty. It has become a beacon for those seeking to pierce the veil between the living and the dead. Paranormal investigators, armed with EMF readers, EVP recorders, and infrared cameras, make their pilgrimage to this forgotten corner of Kentucky. They hope to capture evidence of the spirits that linger here. Their findings are as varied as the investigators themselves. Some claim to have recorded EVPs, disembodied voices, whispering from the ether, their words laced with sorrow and despair. Others speak of cold spots, sudden drops in temperature that defy explanation, sending shivers down the spines of even the most hardened skeptics. Photos taken in the fading light sometimes reveal spectral figures lurking in the shadows. Are these merely tricks of light, or do they offer a glimpse into a realm beyond our understanding? The debate rages on, fueled by the palpable sense of unease that permeates the very air of Lost Hollow. Despite the passage of time, the stories persist. Tales of the weeping woman continue to circulate. She is often sighted near the old church, her mournful cries echoing through the trees. Some say she is searching for her lost children, forever trapped in grief. Others believe she is a harbinger of misfortune, a warning to those who disturb Lost Hollow. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there is no denying the unsettling energy of Lost Hollow. It is a place where the past refuses to die, where tragedy lingers in the air. If you ever find yourself drawn to Lost Hollow, tread carefully and respectfully. Loomed large. The tale of Lost Hollow is a reminder that some wounds never truly heal. Thanks for joining us again here in Lost Hollow. Click like and subscribe for more dark tales from Appalachia, and we'll leave the porch light on for you, just in case.